Not really. I kind of knew what to expect. Not really overwhelmed. I pretty much knew what I was signing up for. So I haven't really had that moment yet.
Right.
Fingers crossed, but I'm
It'll
just.
probably happen mid-November or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm just working, putting my head down and working every day.
How does practice differ compared to what you were at Tennessee Tech to what Frank runs here, practice-wise?
It's just really fast-paced, and he really focuses in on the details, So I think that's been like a really big adjustment, just being able to play and perform at that level. And then, just being able to get up and down, though. It's really competitive. I enjoy that a lot. We do a lot of 5-on-5 things, so we keep the juices flowing, everything's competitive, so it's fun.
Who's the hardest player to guard that you so far through the first week and a half or so?
Man, that's a tough one. We've got some tough guys out here. Obviously, AJ with his skill and his length and his athleticism, whenever he's coming off of ball screens or, curling off a screen, he's hard to contain. And then Mike Kotsar with just his size and ability, 6'11", 270. He's a handful to guard anytime he catches the ball down low.
How do you feel like you can impact this team? Have they talked to you at all about what your role might be?
I know they're expecting me to help them out a lot, just having a presence in the paint, just being like strong, tough guy, scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, defending, playing defense. So really all those things, and just expect me to bring some of the experience I have, to this team.
Take me through your recruitment process once you decided to transfer. How soon did Frank reach out to you, and what was kind of their pitch?
It didn't really take him too long. I think what really triggered it was Felipe when he decided to go a different direction.
Right.
I think they decided that they really needed to fill that hole, maybe like an older guy. And Frank actually flew up to Tennessee. We sat down, we talked. We'd been talking on the phone for a while. And they were an instant prospect from the beginning just because I knew who they had returning. And, I was really impressed with how they finished in the SEC.
What was your first impression? When did you kind of first start watching Frank Martin teams, or was it during that Final Four run? Was it just kind of when they were recruiting, when did that pop up?
I'd sort of kept an eye on them just watching basketball in general. I'd probably say from that Final Four run would probably be when I really started watching them. DeMarcus Blanton, we actually played AAU basketball with each other. I was probably 14 or 15 years old, so I always kind of keep an eye on guys I've played with. So when he came here, I kind of, just kept a couple tabs on the team.
What's your relationship like with DeMarcus? You guys, he's obviously around the building. He's got the big bald head bouncing around. What's he like now?
Oh, yeah, man, it's cool. Actually, whenever it had been so long, we kind of looked at each other, we knew each other from somewhere, but it took a while to make it click. But, it's good to have him around, a guy with some experience. Brings a lot of energy to the locker room. So he's a great guy to have around.
What do you think Frank's talked this preseason about how fast this team can play? Do you like that as a big, or kind of how do you envision this team looking offensively?
I think that as a big, I think it can be good for sure to have to be able to catch teams in transition and to
a little bit of pressure off you.
Right, and to not always play against set defenses. I think that always helps. And I think playing fast could really help this team, just with the athleticism and the size we have. I think we'll really be able to do some damage pushing the pace.
What have you noticed from these young guys like a Jalen or a Wildens that through these first, 2 weeks of practice?
Man, they're great athletes. They're soaking everything up like sponges, and they really have great attitudes, man. I think, the mental approach to the game is really the most important part coming in, because it's a really big jump. I can only imagine, I'm going from, a D1 school to another D1 school, but they're going from high school to the SEC. So I can only imagine what that adjustment's like for them, but they've been handling it great. And I think they'll be able to contribute and have great careers here.